Hello, I'm Joan Sheridan and I'm owner of Heritage Spinning and Weaving in Lake Orion, Michigan, and that's where we are today to demonstrate weaving turned Krokbragd on the Inkle loom. First, I'm going to show you some of the things that you can make and what a pattern looks like, and then I'll talk about setting up the loom. Weaving Krokbragd is a traditional weft-faced weave structure. In the Inkle loom, we weave a warp-faced structure. So what we've done is we've turned it on its side, hence turned Krokbragd. And in Krokbragd, you can make pictures of things. And in this instance, this is what we do in my beginning class. We make sheep. We have a flock of sheep. And it's a good first project because there are markers that are very obvious. We have a blue dividing pick, and then we have legs and a head and legs again, and then we're back to the dividing pick. So if you break that down, we have 4 picks: the dividing, the legs, the nose, the legs, and then we repeat that until we have a whole flock of sheep. That same yarn was used to make this band, which has an entirely different look. It looks like a series of chains and just another motif that you can do with this weave structure. These two are interesting because the only thing that changes is the color. What is white here is khaki here. The pink here is brown here, but they're the very same band following the very same pattern. And it's interesting to see how much variety you can get from just one pattern. This is very traditional colors and motifs, and the point I want to make with this band is that if you look at this end of the band, the diamonds in the middle look a little smaller than the diamonds past this bit of thread. And what I did is from here to here, I changed to a larger weft thread, and it elongated the pattern and made it a little more square. So you don't always use the same weft yarn as warp yarn. You can vary it to achieve effects that you like. This also is a very traditional Krokbragd motif done in extremely non-traditional colors. An interesting thing about Krokbragd is that the front side is very different from the back side. And finally, what I have been working on a lot lately are miniature landscapes. So we have the lake and the hills and a sunset. And this is done in very fine pearl cotton that is used for embroidery work. So we'll go on now and I'll show you how the loom is set up and how to weave. Weaving turned Krokbragd on the Inkle loom is all loom controlled. And that means that all the work, all the patterning is done when you set up the loom. The setup does take a little bit more time, but the weaving is very simple. We just have 1, 2, 3, and 2 again. So we don't have to manipulate the individual threads to get our pattern. The way we have set up the loom is doing all the work. This is what the setup looks like for weaving turned Krokbragd. But before you look at the loom, you have to look at a pattern. And this is our threading order. And we start at the top and work our way across. And what's interesting is that we have 2 threads between our heddled threads. If you're an Inkle weaver, you'll understand what that means. And that gives us, as on the sheep, it gives us the 2 legs, the nose, and the divider. So on the bottom, we have a thread order by shed. And as I make each shed, when I set up the loom, I can compare to this and see that I do have my threads in the right order. A little refresher, this is the front peg, and on this loom it's also the tension peg, and the top peg, the heddle peg, and at the far end is the back peg. On turned Krokbragd, we have 3 sheds. Let me take my clip off and take my shuttle out. This is shed 1. This is shed 2. This is shed 3. So we're going to weave 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2 in repetition to make our pattern. So my shuttle is on the right, and sheds 1 and 3 always have the shuttle on the right. So make sure they're clear. Beat. Two. 3. 3 is a little more challenging. Got to work your way to the front of the loom. And 2 again. Notice I lifted my continuous heddle up to get it out of the way and to move smoothly. There's my second shed, and I've completed 1 complete set. Now we'll do another one without talking, so you can just watch my hands.